Chris Eubank Jr. has announced his opponent today for announcement at the announcement presser. He said that he'd fight Genaddy Golovkin after this fight, which is absolutely ballistic. But he said today he is fighting Tom Dorn, who is 17-0 with 7 knockouts. And he's fighting on June 25th in the AJ undercard. And he was asked in an interview by Adam Smith. He said that he would like to fight Golovkin after this fight. And to be honest, there's no sense in making that fight. Who's Chris Eubank fought? Chris Eubank has only fought at domestic level. To be honest, that doesn't make sense. Why does Chris Eubank Jr. want to fight Genaddy Golovkin so soon, without any warm-up fights? He's going from domestic British level opponents straight up to a world-class elite middleweight like Triple G. Chris Eubank Jr. needs warm-up fights. If he wants to fight Genaddy Golovkin, he needs warm-up fights. No way in hell can he go in against Genaddy Golovkin next. At the end of the year, he gets his ass whooped by Golovkin now. I don't ever think he would beat Golovkin, realistically speaking. He might have the possibility of winning a world title. I can't imagine it can be against strong opposition. I know I sound very critical about Eubank Jr. and he's okay at boxing. I mean, he has good stamina, he's good punching power, good snap in his punches, head movements getting there. I've seen he's been working on it. But as far as opponents, I don't know, like, he needs some warm-up fights for Golovkin. I mean, just jumping in there in the ring with a top-class guy is just absolutely insane, just after winning the British title. And Saunders, who's world champion with WBO. I mean, Eubank Jr. never beat someone like Saunders last year, or I should say 2014, November 2014, when they fought. So what's the point of him trying to fight Golovkin whenever somebody like Saunders should be fighting Golovkin from a title point of view? He needs. So who would Chris fight then instead? As far as warm-up fights go, he needs someone like James Kirkland or Miguel Cotto or Danny Jacobs, Peter McQuillan, someone like that. Someone who's in the top 10 maybe, but no way, like, you can't just jump straight to Golovkin. I mean, no, you can't do that unless you know for sure you're going to win. And yes, I know, like, Eddie Hearn, as far as promotion, Eddie Hearn would blow his fighters' trumpets maybe a bit too much, and I know he's doing that because he wants his boxers to succeed and maybe even beat these guys, whether he believes they can or not. But maybe he wants what's best for his fighter, and maybe Eddie Hearn wants Chris Jr. to face Golovkin. I don't know. But anyway, current opponent is Tom Dorn. He's undefeated with 17-0, 7 knockouts. And yeah, you can say, well, I'm fighting an undefeated guy and all this. But that, to be honest, that doesn't mean anything. It's more about the quality of opposition you're facing. I mean, if you do a Kell Brook and fight 35 bums. That's not really what you would consider, you couldn't consider that person a legendary fighter. And Amir Khan's had more success, and what I mean by that is, yes, you can say Amir Khan's been knocked out and been lost before, but remember, Amir Khan won multiple world titles long before Kell Brook did. 3 years before Kell Brook won his title. And so I think Amir Khan has had a more successful career. Anyway, that's just an example of when being undefeated maybe isn't necessarily a thing to brag about. And Amir Khan faced an undefeated guy after his knockout loss to Danny Garcia, and it was a quick blowout. Like, he stopped the guy, but the guy was undefeated, and undefeated doesn't mean anything unless you've made a name for yourself like Floyd Mayweather has. I know that Floyd Mayweather would get a lot of stick for ducking fighters and everything, but if you look at someone like that, he's had wins over multiple names, and he's fought more world champions than anyone. I think he actually holds the title. So anyway, Chris Jr. has said, this guy is considered the best middleweight in the world, and for me, he doesn't deserve that position. For me, I feel like I have the tools to beat him, so let's get it on. I really believe I'll be in the ring fighting for a world title towards the end of this year. I need to get a couple of more fights, defend the British title a few times, then jump in there and win myself a world title belt. Now, I don't know, that's not being realistic as far as I'm concerned. And I know people can say but sure Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko, and Vladimir Klitschko was held, 3 or 4 world titles. But you have to consider, although Tyson Fury didn't have world class opposition before Klitschko, he'd fought decent names, Steve Cunningham and Derek Chisora, and even ones like Kevin Johnson. And I mean, maybe yes, Kevin Johnson was towards the end of his years and was past his prime, but these are notable people, and I don't think Chris Jr. has done that yet. I think his win over Spike O'Sullivan was maybe the best win of his career so far, and the best opponent he's faced so far. But anyways, yes, I went on a bit of a rant here. Let me know what you think about it, and thanks for watching.